Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever gone to bed early? Woken up with enough hours of sleep, but your brain still feels tired? You're not alone. Over 70% of older adults say their mind feels foggy or slow in the morning, even when they sleep through the night. And yet, no one tells them why. It's not just age. It's not even poor sleep in most cases. It's what happens inside your body while you're sleeping, or rather, what's supposed to happen, but doesn't. See, the brain isn't just resting at night. It's working. That's when it repairs damaged cells, clears out waste, resets circuits for memory, focus, and emotion. But there's a catch. If your stomach is still busy digesting a heavy meal, the brain has to wait. It's one of the most overlooked facts in neurology. When digestion is active, circulation is pulled away from the brain. That means less oxygen, less blood flow, less repair. Some studies suggest this diversion can lower blood availability to the brain by more than 20% during deep sleep. And if that happens night after night, the fog builds. You don't feel rested. Your mind doesn't reset. And by morning, you're starting from behind. The good news is, it doesn't have to be that way. There are gentle, natural ways to take the pressure off your digestion before bed, so your brain finally gets the recovery time it's been missing. And that's what this video is about. If it's your first time watching, I'd love for you to subscribe. We share practical ways to support the aging brain, starting right in your kitchen. Tonight, we'll look at 3 simple, soothing foods that digest easily and allow your brain to heal more efficiently while you sleep. You don't need a prescription. You just need to know what to eat and when to stop. Let's begin. There's something deeply comforting about a warm bowl of steamed squash. It's soft, gentle, easy to chew, but what it does inside your body, especially at night, is far more powerful than it looks. Squash, especially the winter varieties like butternut or kabocha, are rich in soluble fiber. That's the kind your gut doesn't need to work hard to process. Instead, it slows things down in the best possible way. Soluble fiber absorbs water and forms a gel-like texture inside your intestines. This gel coats the lining of the gut, reduces irritation, and helps stabilize digestion, especially in older adults, where the gut lining is often more fragile due to age-related inflammation. But the real magic begins when that digestive calm travels upstream. See, your gut and your brain are directly connected through the vagus nerve. When the gut is inflamed or overworked, signals are constantly sent to the brain, keeping it alert, even when you're trying to sleep. But when the gut is calm, the brain gets the message. It's safe to rest. That's when healing begins. In a 2021 study published in the Journal of Neuroinflammation, researchers found that gut-calming diets rich in soluble fiber significantly reduced markers of neuroinflammation in older adults. Less inflammation means better circulation, better oxygen delivery, and better overnight recovery. Another study from 2022 Inches, the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, showed that participants who consumed high-soluble fiber meals before bed fell asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, and had more time in the deep stages of sleep, the exact stages when brain repair happens. This might explain why so many of my patients report a mental shift after changing just one thing in their routine, replacing their heavy, late-night dinners with something as humble as steamed squash. A woman named Evelyn, 72, from Portland, told me this. I stopped eating meat at night and switched to warm squash with a little olive oil. Within a week, I was waking up clearer. My eyes didn't sting, and my brain wasn't fighting to catch up. Simple changes, remarkable difference. And let me add one more layer to why this works. Squash is rich in natural compounds called carotenoids. These include lutein and zeaxanthin antioxidants known to protect both the eyes and the brain from oxidative stress. According to a 2020 study in the journal Nutrients, diets higher in carotenoids were associated with slower cognitive decline and stronger memory performance in adults over 65. That means this one food is not only helping your digestion rest, it's also giving your brain the raw materials it needs to stay resilient. And because squash is naturally low in sugar, high in potassium, and easy to season, it becomes a perfect evening food, especially for those managing blood pressure or glucose levels. Now, how should you use it? Keep it simple. Choose a fresh squash, like butternut, delicata, or acorn. Peel it, slice it, and steam until soft, not mushy. Add a touch of olive oil and a small pinch of sea salt. No heavy spices. No frying. No butter. This is not about flavor overload. This is about resetting your rhythm. When eaten 2 to 3 hours before bed, steamed squash gives your gut a chance to slow down, signals your brain to shift into healing mode, and gently prepares your body for deeper sleep. It's a small change, but for the aging brain, small can mean everything. For decades, carbohydrates were cast as the villain of the evening meal, but the truth is more nuanced. Not all carbs are the same, and not all carbs at night are bad. In fact, the right kind of carbohydrates, soft, well-cooked, easy to digest, may be one of the simplest tools to help the brain recover while you sleep. Let's break it down. Soft noodles, especially when made from rice or wheat and cooked until tender, are broken down quickly and smoothly in the digestive tract. This means your gut doesn't have to strain or produce excess acid to process them. That's the first win. Less digestive tension, more relaxation. But there's more happening beyond the gut. Gentle carbohydrates raise tryptophan availability in the bloodstream. Tryptophan is an amino acid that helps produce serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for calmness, emotional regulation, and the precursor to melatonin, your body's sleep hormone. Here's why that matters. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2016 found that consuming easily digestible carbs 4 hours before bed increased the speed of sleep onset and improved subjective sleep quality in older adults. When tryptophan enters the brain more efficiently, serotonin levels rise, and so does the ability to fall into deep, restorative sleep. That's the window when your brain finally gets to clean, organize, and repair itself. Now consider this. When your digestive system is still churning through heavy protein or fat, the transport of tryptophan into the brain is slowed down. That's because large meals with complex macronutrients compete for the same transporter channels in the blood-brain barrier. Soft noodles don't do that. They allow the process to flow smoothly, without metabolic roadblocks. And there's another angle. When carbs are too hard to digest, say, undercooked pasta, fried rice, or heavily processed grains, the body responds with inflammation. Even mild bloating or gas can trigger an immune response that keeps the brain alert instead of calm. In contrast, a simple bowl of soft noodles keeps the gut quiet. According to a 2019 review in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, reduced gastrointestinal activity at night was linked to improved cerebrovascular perfusion, that is, better blood flow to the brain during sleep. That means more oxygen, more glucose delivery, and more cellular restoration. Think about that. A food that's humble, soft, and warm, giving your brain exactly what it needs to reset. Of course, not all noodles are created equal. Instant noodles, heavily seasoned packets, or deep-fried varieties do the opposite of what you want. What works best is plain rice noodles, egg noodles, or thin wheat noodles, cooked thoroughly in water until soft. Avoid heavy sauces. Avoid cheese or chili oil. This is not about stimulating your taste buds. It's about supporting your brain. When paired with a light broth or steamed vegetable, which we'll explore next, soft noodles can become a reliable part of your nighttime rhythm. A way to nourish the brain gently, without burden, without resistance. Just quiet fuel for a mind that's ready to heal. When digestion needs to rest, nothing does the job quite like a warm, clear broth. It sounds almost too simple, but simplicity is often what the body craves most at night. Clear vegetable broth is more than just comfort food. It is hydration, circulation, and nutrition all in a form your body can absorb without stress. Let's start with hydration. Older adults are more likely to experience mild dehydration at night without realizing it. And even slight dehydration can reduce blood volume, thicken the blood, and slow down circulation, especially in the tiny vessels that supply the brain. A study in the journal Nutrients in 2020 showed that hydration before sleep improved overnight glymphatic function, the system responsible for clearing waste from the brain. Without enough fluid, this cleaning system slows down. Toxins stay longer. Mental clarity fades faster. Clear broth solves this in a gentle, targeted way. Because it's warm and savory, it's easier to sip than plain water. And because it contains electrolytes like potassium and magnesium, naturally released from vegetables during simmering, it helps the body retain that hydration longer. But there's more. Unlike blended soups or heavy stews, clear broth requires no mechanical breakdown. There's nothing for the gut to digest. No solids to process. Just minerals and warmth moving through the stomach in under 15 minutes. That frees up circulation. Blood that would have been directed to the intestines can now remain available for other critical tasks, especially the slow, restorative delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the brain during deep sleep. One clinical study, published in Brain Circulation in 2021, found that reducing digestive load at night increased cerebral perfusion by over 15% in older adults with mild memory decline. That's real. That's measurable. And it's meaningful. Because when blood flow improves, everything else can begin. Repair of damaged neurons, clearing of beta amyloid, rebalancing of neurotransmitters. These are the quiet tasks your brain performs while you sleep, but it can't do them well if your stomach is still busy. And this is where clear broth does something no supplement can do. It provides space. It provides stillness. A man named Walter, age 74, shared this with me a few months ago. I used to snack at night and couldn't sleep. Now I just sip broth with a pinch of salt. I sleep deeper, and I don't wake up in a fog anymore. That was it. No magic pill. Just a shift in what his body was being asked to process. And here's the part most people miss. Broth also provides trace nutrients that quietly support cognitive health, like folate, choline, and vitamin K, especially when you include green vegetables like kale, spinach, or parsley during simmering. To make it right, start with clean, fresh vegetables. Carrots, celery, onion, zucchini, a few herbs. Cover with water and simmer gently for at least 1 hour. Strain everything. Keep only the clear liquid. Drink it warm, slowly, at least 90 minutes before bed. No garlic. No heavy salt. No stock cubes. Keep it pure. This is not just a drink. It is a signal to your body, to your brain, to every system that's been overworked and overstimulated all day. A signal that it's time to pause, to heal, and to wake up clear. Now that you've seen how each of these foods works, the next question becomes simple. How do you put them together into a routine that fits your life? Let me offer a rhythm, not a rule book, not a diet. Just a gentle night plan you can try, adjust, and make your own. Start your evening with a lighter mindset. You're not eating to fill up. You're eating to wind down. Think of food as preparation for sleep, not a reward. Not a distraction, but a message to your body. 3 hours before bed, make a warm plate. Nothing fancy, just enough to signal peace. Begin with a small serving of steamed squash. A handful is enough. Soft, warm, seasoned lightly. This tells your gut to relax and your brain to soften. Next, add a small bowl of soft noodles. Cooked thoroughly, no oils, no sauces. Just warm, smooth carbohydrates to ease the transition into sleep. Finish with a mug of clear vegetable broth. Sip it slowly. Let it warm your chest. Let it do its quiet work. And then, stop. No snacks. No fruit. No late-night crackers or cold milk. Give your stomach a break. Give your brain a chance. After that meal, avoid screens if you can. Let your body settle without stimulation. Listen to soft music. Dim the lights. Let your thoughts loosen. It doesn't have to be perfect, just consistent. If you're used to large dinners, your body might resist at first. That's okay. It takes time to rebuild trust with your rhythm. But if you stay gentle and patient, your brain will notice. You'll begin to fall asleep easier. You'll stay asleep longer. And you'll wake up more alert, more stable, more yourself. That is the goal. Not just to eat better, but to feel clearer, to think more freely, to age with awareness, not confusion. And it can begin tonight, with one bowl, one choice, one pause. It's easy to forget how powerful rest can be. In a world that moves too fast, where everything demands your attention, stillness starts to feel like a luxury. But for the brain, stillness is not a luxury. It's survival. When you give your gut a break, you give your brain a chance. Every gentle bite, every quiet evening meal, every moment you choose nourishment over noise, you're telling your body something it has waited years to hear. You are safe now. You can let go. You are allowed to heal. And your brain listens. It doesn't need complex pills or radical changes. It needs space. It needs oxygen. It needs your help to do what it was always designed to do, restore itself. So tonight, let it. Let your stomach rest. Let your mind recover. Let your body work the way it was meant to. Because what you do in those quiet hours, the meals you choose, the thoughts you calm, the rhythms you build, they shape how you think, how you age, and how you show up for life each day. And if no one has told you this lately, let me be the one to say it. You're not broken. You're not too late. You are in the exact right place to begin again. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this video. If it gave you something to think about, something to try, something to feel, I hope you'll let me know in the comments. And if you found it helpful,